How you doing? Good evening.
Good evening. Still waiting for our MPD contact to show up. I think it's going to be Lieutenant Harrell. I exchanged emails with him yesterday. Oh, here we go. Brian Barry. Lieutenant Harrell is here. I I don't see any constituents yet, though, but I'll go ahead and since it's 7 o'clock and we want to keep these things on schedule. Let's see. Yeah. Keep this on schedule. Let me call this meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage, Cannabis, and Public Safety Committee of ANC 1C to order this evening at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. As always, we have a light schedule this month, which I would attribute to the current state of the economy more than anything else. All we really have is our weekly briefing, or I'm sorry, our monthly briefing from our local MPD representative. I'll just mention quickly in passing, since these things wind up on our agenda eventually. I've gotten two placards this month, and they're both in District 01. They're both part of the work that these two entities have to do to get their streeteries approved and upgraded. A streetery endorsement request for Her Diner and a streetery endorsement request for El Tamarindo. So those will be coming up on the public agenda later this summer. And with that, since I see Lieutenant Harrell is here, if we could get him elevated, we'll turn the floor over to him for our monthly update of what's happening in terms of NPD activity here in ANC 1C. Thanks very much.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Can you all see me?
We got your audio so far.
Can you all see me? Okay.
I,
All
I
right.
cannot,
I
but
was
go ahead.
curious because I couldn't see myself. So, Lieutenant Harrell, I'm going to be filling in PSA 303. We just recently lost one of the best captains on MPD. That's Captain Porter. They stole him from us. He's over at 2D.
Oh, really?
So, I'm filling in until we
Yeah.
get somebody to fill his spot.
Sorry to lose you.
Lieutenant Johnson is the PSA manager for 303, but I'm gonna give you what I got so far. Basically, we've been getting a lot of concerns from citizens in regards to drug complaints, very particularly like in the 17th block of Columbia. So we
Mhm.
have the Business Beat team. I'm pretty sure some manager, prior manager, maybe Captain Porter himself, brief you with Business Beat. The Business Beat team could be somewhat deceptive with the name. They also do good police work. They're going to lock up folks, committing crimes, burglaries, theft from autos, things like that, as well as drug-related offenses. So we have our Business Beat team. It's one sergeant, it's about six officers, just dedicated to any issue, any concern that we get, just not just in PSA 303, but just across the entire district to try to put out fires and address concerns. They've been making substantial arrests there. Also in the our NSID unit, which is now rebranded to VCSD, Drug and Narcotics Unit. They've been out in the area making a lot of arrests. And Mr. Howard, I believe you made reference to that our
Yeah.
commander
Mhm.
shared with you. Regarding general crimes within the last 30 days, the biggest thing is that we didn't experience any homicides, which is good. Um, we did have 3 ADWs, which is assault with a dangerous weapon, um, which is consistent with this time last year, the past 30-day period, same period last year in 2025. 2 robberies, which is down by 13%. We only had 1 burglary compared to this time last year. That's down by 57%. 3 motor vehicle thefts. So let's talk about motor vehicle thefts. Those are more or less crime of opportunities. Uh, we have we have stakeholders. We have stakeholders. We have various citizens that come into the city. People that visit the city. I have been guilty of doing that whenever I go down and visit my family in Florida and Louisiana. Sometimes I leave the keys in the ignition. Lucky enough, I never had my vehicle taken, but so I want to touch, but nonetheless, we are down. We're down 37% with your motor vehicle thefts. But I just wanted to, kind of explain the way the nature of certain crimes work because that varies. In theft from autos, similar case. If you're leaving stuff like this, within view of the public, or things like this within view of the public, or even a charging port or a couple of coins, that attracts the unhoused population. A few bucks and coins may not mean nothing to someone in the middle class, profession, but a few bucks is like one of us getting a $50,000 bonus. That's significant. So that provokes a lot of that provokes a lot of theft from autos from the unhoused population, and also juveniles, kids are very much interested in committing those. And that is also what we call crime of opportunity. Thefts, well, thefts is one of the hardest things to police. A lot of that has to do with, your local corner stores and things like that. We had 34 in the past 30-day period, throughout your various corner stores and things like that are from residents as well. That stayed consistent within the past 30-day time frame between this year and this time last year. Um, that is pretty much all I have. Floor is open for the discussion. Any questions you all may have? Floor is
I,
open.
uh, Chairman Wood, did you have anything?
I'm good. Thank
I,
you for that.
I don't see the attendees I expected from District 4, but I do, in addition to Brian Barry, who I think it's in his contract, he has to sit through these things every month. Uh, I see Nancy Shia, who is a former commissioner from, I believe, 1CO7 is with us. If Nancy, if you got anything on your mind, I'd be happy to turn the mic over to you. Hmm. Hearing, I mean, I hate to wrap this up so quickly, but we appear to have nothing else on the agenda. I, as always, appreciate the NPD report.
I guess I'll have one question
Oh,
actually.
yeah, go ahead, sir.
Um,
Sure.
I mean, this is kind of a general question, kind of not, and there might not be a great answer, but just because everyone's been talking about it. Looking ahead to summertime, what's MPD in general and the third district in specifics, kind of plans or anticipation for what's happening with youth takeovers and things like that throughout the city? Like Youth Street usually gets a lot of attention, we'll put it, during the summer in Ward 1. But is that, I would hope that's something you're discussing. If so, how have those discussions gone? What do you think might be an approach to try to contain random acts of violence that have been affecting neighbors?
No, actually, I think the contrary. I think that's an excellent question, actually.
Okay. Glad to hear it. Thanks.
So that generally speaking, right? That's just not a DC thing. Teen take. I'm from Louisiana, Baton
Mhm.
Rouge. We
Yeah.
have teen. I got buddies. My whole family's in policing or whatever, entrepreneurs. I have family members calling me about what's going on down there in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Miami. It's like a national phenomenon. If you think back 2 years ago, carjackings for some reason was like a juvenile craze. I don't
Same
know,
thing.
but now it's the juvenile takeover. So specifically to DC, we are staffing. We increasing our staffing. We have like a lot of overtime opportunities. We have what you call CDU, civil disturbance units. That's basically you just put more officers on the street, and we have activations like that just to have more visibility, so that we can kind of deter that type of behavior. Of course, we know NPD is partnering with various federal agencies. We have National Guard in the district. From what I understand, we may have an increased uptick with National Guard out and about, as well as U.S. Park Police. But as far as MPD is concerned, in particular, we're going to have officers out. Sometime we have what you call Alpha Bravo activation. Alpha is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Bravo is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. What that does is basically have more of a presence, more of a police presence. Basically, the whole department is activated. I want to say 2 summers ago, I don't know if you all recall, we had the truckers convoy. That was a big deal. Maybe it was 3 summers ago, where the whole department was basically activated for the entire summer. And you may get 1 or 2 days off. So they didn't put nothing in concrete stone that's going to happen, but we do have an Alpha Bravo activation coming up, I believe, from June 10th to June 12th. So it may be indicated that something like that may be coming. But either way, one main way we help with staffing, being that numbers are down, there's no secret there. I want to say about 800 officers, and it's been that way for quite some time. But what we do to mitigate that is create overtime opportunities. We have a lot of young officers; they're hungry to work, and they come in and work their off days. Sometimes they come in and work before their shift starts. So we'll have a large influx of police presence throughout the summer to combat that. DPR, of course, I can't speak for DPR in particular, but I have worked with DPR, and a lot of times during the summer, what they do is have juvenile or teen nights out to give them an outlet. And the goal for that is to hope that if we can draw kids to this, safe space, that would in fact, mitigate or prevent incidents that like we've seen down at Chipotle, the Navy Yard down there. I don't know if you all are aware of that. You've seen the news past couple of days. So that's the plan. Now, the straight answer is, that doesn't mean that that would preclude any negative criminal acts by juveniles. But the goal is to see if we could drive it down as much as possible.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I know it's a tough challenge and there's a lot of layers to it, but appreciate the
Yeah,
comments. So,
it is. It is. That's top of mind for everybody on the department. So I appreciate that. That's an excellent question.
yeah,
You-
especially when it's on video all the time. It's on people's
Yeah.
minds because you just see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's starting to become a craze. It's starting to
Mhm.
become a phenomenon, and they're actually recording themselves committing
Yeah.
these acts.
Yeah.
So we prayerfully we have a good response for it.
Appreciate it.
Uh, what you were just saying prompted a question in my mind, which I'd thought of earlier. But you mentioned the National Guard, and I've seen the press reports indicating we're going to get more National Guard from around the country here this summer. What what exactly can they do in a situation like this? I mean, are they out potentially out there making arrests and I don't know, getting themselves
No,
in
no, no.
potential problem situations? Or are they just really support staff for you guys?
The simplest way I can answer that, and the most transparent way I can answer that, is just a professional presence. And a lot of
Mm,
times, they would actually call 911. The dispatcher would raise us. We have a National Guard member on the corner of 14th and U. A citizen approached a guards member. This citizen was a victim of a robbery.
mm,
Sometimes just their presence deter particular crimes. We
mhm,
had a guards member deter. I think it was attempted carjacking a few weeks ago. But the victim took their keys, ran into a McDonald's. I forget the actual, somewhere on U Street. I don't know that McDonald's. I think U and 14th or 15th and U. It was a guardsman there having lunch. The victim saw the guardsman. It was like three or four of them. They roll in units, and the victim just ran into the McDonald's to be with the guardsman. So no, they're not making any arrests as of now. That's not nothing that they're doing. It's just more or less having a presence, and then they assist us. Say if we have like a big crime scene, and
mhm.
like we had a shooting several weeks back over at Fifth and N. I don't think that falls in you all PSA, but Just generally speaking, it was a large crime scene, so we needed the guard to assist, and they kind of helped us like on the outer perimeter, not in the inner perimeter, but in the outer perimeter to assist with pedestrian traffic and things like that. So there are more or less for deterrence. They're not going to be doing any active law enforcement, just more or less deterrence. And as simple as that sound, it actually does work.
Hmm.
The numbers have been down since the guardsmen been here, just having the presence. And what I like too, in particular, is that we socialize and interact with the guardsmen a lot. Sometimes if we're on the street, you see them on the street, you stop and talk to them. That way, the citizens begin to see, MPD, the police interacting and talking with the National Guardsmen. And also, they rotate from various states across the country.
Mhm.
A lot of good young men and women.
Mhm. Yes. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Um, Unfortunately, I think we lost Nancy Shire, and there was one other person on here briefly who's also dropped off. So unless we have additional questions or comments from anybody, I know that the other two ANC committees that would ordinarily meet tonight did not have agendas, so this is it.
Okay. Well, you have my email, so if anything
Yeah,
comes up in between now and the next meeting, just email me. I'm very responsive, and
thanks.
we'd like to partner and see what we can do. And Mr. Wood, that sharp question tells me you have a sharp mind. So if you got any concerns, any
Thanks.
input, please drop a line on my email, and then I would appreciate that as well.
Likewise, thank you for that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. And on that note, I will call this meeting adjourned and thank everyone for their participation. Brief though, we got this done in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry we didn't have any other folks show up and ask questions, but that's what we're here for. So we'll be back next month. Thanks you very much. Have a good night, everybody.